Rob.
Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rogues and the Batman universe. I almost keep forgetting to say that. Today we are taking a look at the final wave from Mattel, the DC Comics multiverse. This is Jason Todd, the Red Hood. This is a figure that has been long overdue. There's only been one Mattel Jason Todd Red Hood, and that was from the DC, or the Signature line, the Matty subscriber series, the Infinite Collectors. I think it had a couple different waves there. It was the Grant Morrison Pillhead version. Or what a lot of people did is bought a bunch of Mr. Terrifics and found people online that were creating a Red Hood helmet to basically complete that. And we've been saying that for a long time, being Mattel collectors, that man, the Red Hood would be so easy for them to do. Just use the body for Mr. Terrific and bam, you've got a Red Hood. But it took till the very end to get a proper Jason Todd Red Hood. Now, the other thing about this figure, this is version 2 of this figure. The helmet, there's already a variant in this line. The very first one, it has a maroon, and I don't have it, but has a, I'll try to find pictures of it, but has a maroon helmet that's a little bit more muted in color, and it looks like it has a glitter paint. And then for whatever reason, Mattel decided, hey, the Red Hood should have a brighter helmet, so let's go ahead and repaint it, and that's what they did. And this was the one I was wanting once I realized there was a second, a variant to this figure. I am not going to track down the second, or the actually first version of a Red Hood. I like this candy apple red. I think it looks great on the figure. So this is an image from, I believe, Red Hood and the Outlaws from Rebirth. And it's funny that Red Robin and Red Hood are no longer in these versions of their costumes anymore. So it is what it is, but I love these versions of the character. And this one comes with an unmasked, or unhelmeted Jason Todd with a red domino mask, which is really kind of cool. So again, the other figures in the wave, we know them: KGB's Katana, Alfred, Red Hood, Dick Grayson Batman, still waiting on him, and Red Robin. And then you buy all 6 and you put together the massive Killer Croc. So the read-up on Jason Todd Red Hood: Rebirth Red Hood. Always walking, try that again. Always walking the line between anti-hero and villain, Jason Todd proves to Batman that he can be a hero. So this is an eagerly waited figure for this guy. Now, I do have a couple versions of Red Hood already from DC Collectibles, but it's nice to finally have a proper Jason Todd Red Hood Mattel figure to sit with my Mattel figures. So let's get the Red Hood out of package, and we will be right back. And here is Red Hood out of the package. This has been another figure that is long overdue. Before we get into him, let's take a look at his Collect and Connect piece, which is the right leg for Killer Croc. We are 2 pieces away from being able to complete the Killer Croc Collect and Connect. So it's not wasting time. Let's get this guy off to the side with his other pieces, and we will go from there. So the only other Red Hood figure that Mattel has made is the DC Signatures collection, or the Infinite Collectors series. I forget what that was actually titled. Right now, the Signature collection, as I'm looking at Robin's box right off the side. So that was the white and kind of pinkish, purplish, black cape, Grant Morrison Pillhead version of Jason Todd. I had thought about doing, I wanted to get that figure just so I had a Red Hood in my collection, but I thought about getting, I've got John Blake's, I have bought 2 John Blake Movie Masters figures that have like this jacket vest thing that you could take off. I thought about putting that on, taking the cape off of that figure, and having a jacketed version of the Red Hood that looked like that, but he had that pill head on. And I do have a DC Collectibles Red Hood figure that looks great. They're coming out with another Essentials Red Hood figure, but I wanted a proper Mattel Red Hood figure, and a lot of customizers were buying the Mr. Terrific action figure and then painting him up and doing a sculpted head helmet for a Red Hood. And Chapman Films actually has one of those. You can go back to his channel and look and see a couple versions that he has of Red Hood. So I was always crossing my fingers that somehow, some way, they are going to make a Red Hood. And finally they did for this 80th anniversary wave and the final wave of Mattel. And it's cool. He's in his rebirth costume, and he's got the the red bat on that he has had for the last few years. And now that they've redid his costume all over again, I still prefer this one. He comes with a few accessories here. He has an unhelmeted, I about said unmasked, an unhelmeted Jason Todd red masked head, which in the New 52 and Rebirth, when he was Robin, he had a red domino mask. I thought that's cool that they had that. So I have wondered with one of my DC Universe Classics figures to take off one of the Dick Grayson Batman heads and put this head on there to say, hey, this is definitely Jason Todd. But neither here nor there. This is really cool to have. So I'm torn about which version I want to have him unmasked holding the helmet, or helmet and just put this in a box and then from time to time slip this one back on. But this is a great addition to the figure. He does come with two other sets of hands. He comes with two fists to do some punching, and he comes with two hands on here to like hold something like the grapnel gun or something like that. And then he comes with trigger fingers. Oh, and he comes with a rifle. No, he does not come with a rifle. Why do I have this rifle? Oh, look, there's his guns right there. Oh, silly me. Let's just take him out and we'll put him in the, and we'll do a little, and why won't they come out? Yeah, that's right, because they're molded in there. So we're gonna pause here really quick, and I'm gonna show you the image that they showed at Toy Fair for 2018, I believe is when this was. Could have been 2017, but I believe it was Toy Fair for 2018 when they announced Red Robin and Red Hood. And these are the first images that we saw, and I want you to pay close attention because he's gonna be posed something like this in the image. So he's gonna kind of look like that. So, and it's just a mock-up, it's not painted. I think it's just a computer rendering of like, this is what we're going to do with this figure. So let's take a look at that really quick. Oh, wait, you mean one of the holsters is empty? He's got a gun up here and another holster, another gun holstered? Yes, they were originally going to give us a Red Hood that the guns could come out. Why they decided to not do that, I have no idea whatsoever. And they have given guns. Two-Face earlier in the wave came with a gun that you could put in his hand. The KG Beast, who I've got just off of the table here, right by Katana, has swords, or a knife that could come in and out of holsters. The Batman Gotham by Gaslight Batman has tiny little blades and knives that come out of his tunic and utility belt. Why did these not come out? Now, that is about as excited and mad as I'm going to get. Yes, the Red Hood should have guns. Luckily, I've got other figures that have had guns, so this actually kind of works right now for the moment. I do want to get two handguns here, and to be able to put in here. I've thought about taking an X-Acto knife and cutting this gun out. I've seen somebody else do something like that. That just might be a lot of little extra work to do, and I can put in a couple other guns. I thought about buying one of the Fortnite figures because their guns look really nice, a nice silver gun, so if I saw those discounted. But I'm sure I've got other guns up here in a part box somewhere, and I've got a little parts case here I even half wonder if I could find a gun really quick on camera. No, I don't think I'm going to be able to find one. But I think you get the idea that you could have some type of gun. Whoa, hey, hey, I got a gun. Oh, so here's a little tiny gun that can fit in his hand. So yes, with the trigger finger kind of set there, this gun does not actually work with this figure, but you can see he does hold a gun rather well. And having like this AK-47 type of a rifle here, it's a different type of gun that might be kind of cool for him to have, because he would have a whole arsenal of weaponry at his disposal. So you could have him posed with something else, and it might not be so bad having those other guns holstered, that wow, he's just coming to the party with a little bit of extra firepower. So I think that's what I'm currently doing right now, that I've had him out of package, having him hold a different type of gun while I am trying to find something a little bit more accurate for him to use. So there you can kind of see what I put all my extra accessories in. There's the Gentleman Ghost gun, so you can have something like that in his hand. So it's funny that they did that, and they went ahead and sculpted trigger hands for him that specifically hold a weapon, and then decided, oh, we're not going to do that. I wonder if it was just a problem in manufacturing, that somebody didn't get the memo and somebody said, hey, we created these hands, or I'm not saying this is what this is, so hopefully I don't get any comments in the comment section, maybe because of all the shootings and stuff going on. They said, you know what, we're just not going to put any guns in the rest of our figures coming out. So I don't know if that's what it is. Probably not. I think it was probably a manufacturer's error, and somebody went, whoops, these were supposed to come out, doy. So that's the only knock. I've heard some people say, oh, it just really drops the figure. Yeah, it sucks that the guns don't come out, but everything else with this figure just looks great. There, like I said, in the box portion of it, there is an alternate version of this helmet. Actually, this is the alternate version. So hopefully the camera picks this up, and my red background's probably washing it out a little bit. But this is the like candy apple cherry red helmet. The first version of this was a maroon helmet that had like some glitter, little bits of glitter into it, and I thought that looked really good. But I thought, oh, I really wanted a bright helmet for Red Hood, and then this one started showing up in like a second wave. So I think early in the production they decided to change to a bright red helmet, and I think this works much, much better. So let's pull the hood off. And that was something else, that it sits a little too far down on the neck, so I'm barely putting it down. And I think it works a little bit better up higher. So maybe they drilled in a little bit too far when they made this, or they did not build the neck up high enough, because all the way down it just sets too low. So I like the hood up just a little bit higher, and it still works. It's not coming off. I'm not putting as much pressure on. Now the head, the unmasked head, or the unhelmeted head, doesn't really seem to have that problem. It seems to set on rather well. So you can see head. Now all the other figures so far have a good amount of articulation in the head. He can look down quite a bit. Again, we like to pick on Damien since the two of them don't get along very well. So we can kind of scold Damien. And he doesn't look up very well, but he does have a good range of motion and like a 360, a little bit of a tilt there. The arms do go all the way around, doesn't get hinged or get bothered by the top part of the jacket. Some people don't like the line running down through here, the bat, that in the box image, and I think we can see it here, that there is no line there to indicate the zipper, but somebody decided, well, hey, this is kind of like a jacket, so there would be a line through there. I'm fine. Some people are crying foul with that. It doesn't bother me at all one bit. It's not sculpted, it's painted on, but the stamp is done very, very well. There's a bicep swivel. single bend at the elbow, but the way this elbow is made, it almost acts like a double jointed elbow. It's got a great range of motion, so I'm not that torn up about it. Hinge at the wrist, and again, the hands do come out, so you can put on one of the other trigger fingers, which that's probably what I'm going to do, is going to keep the trigger hands in, so when I get some type of pistols to put in here, the hands will just be ready. It's good to have just a normal hand to hold on to something, but still. It has the ab crunch, goes back decently, can bend over a little bit, not too much. There is a waist swivel, and then the standard ball peg joints in the legs for the Rebirth and Multiverse figures lately. Upper thigh cut. There is a double hinged knee, which had to get that one loose, and then a hinge and ankle rocker. So I do really, really like this figure. Finally have a proper Jason Todd Red Hood figure. Put in another gun that I have. Yes, I know I probably shouldn't have to, but I'm glad that this figure exists. I'm glad that this figure is here, and finally my Bat family can start to feel complete. And some people said that Jason Todd is a little bit shorter. I'm not talking in quote-unquote real life and comic life, but he is made actually a little bit shorter than what he should be. And again, that these two figures, Batman is taller, not by much, and by the point of the head, I think actually by the top of their head. This Batman, I think I said when I reviewed him, I wish he was on the new Multiverse body. I appreciate he's on the standard buck for the DC Universe Classics, but they kind of raised their height a little bit. But this Batman does not seem as small as maybe he actually is. So Jason Todd Red Hood finally is now a proper figure in the DC Universe Classics line of figures, Multiverse, whatever you have it. And I'm not having to go out and try to find a Mr. Terrific that I would like to have a Mr. Terrific and not have to use Mr. Terrific to make a Red Hood figure. Now I've got one. I am very, very happy with this figure. He's a great figure, and I love this head sculpt. And this helmet is also really cool. I've thought about painting or using like a Sharpie or something into this red mold line that's in here, because it is that way in the comics. There's a black line kind of running through where the helmet detail is, and I love the black around the wide eyes. But very cool figure, and one that I'm very, very happy to have. So today we're taking a look at the DC Universe Comics Multiverse 80th Anniversary Batman Wave, the Killer Croc Collect and Connect Wave, Red Hood Jason Todd. And as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues and the BatmanUniverse.net signing off, saying we will see you guys next time.